Hello and welcome back to Module 2 of the Ultimate Masterclass titled 0 to 10 million in 30 days. Now, in today's module, we're going to be focusing on the strategies required for us to achieve our goal. Now, when it comes to achieving your goal, the very first step is for you to break down your goal into much smaller steps. Now, for the purpose of this masterclass, our goal is to achieve a minimum of 10 million Naira on a monthly basis. And so the first thing you want to do is to figure out how to break down 10 million into daily goals. So your first step will be to break down that big goal into weekly goals and then further break those down into daily goals. So when you take a look at the average, you're looking to make somewhere around 2.5 million on a weekly basis. And then when you go down to a daily basis, you're looking to make somewhere around 350,000 to about 500,000. Depending on if you work a 7-day week or if you work a 5-day week. Now, coming back to my business, this was very crucial because it helped us stay very focused. We knew what our daily goals were. So we knew at the end of each day if we're making our goals or if we're slacking behind or if we're even ahead of our goal. Now, of course, every day is not going to be the same, but having a goal on a day-to-day basis actually keeps you focused because when you start your day, you already know what your goal is for the day. You know that, hey, I'm coming into this day with a minimum target of 500,000, right? How cool is that? Because that way you know that, oh my goodness, what am I going to do to make me earn this money today? As opposed to you not having any goal and you just wake up every day and you're not even seizing the opportunities that will come to you because you're not focused. You don't have a target that you're chasing towards. So if you want to meet your financial goals on a month-by-month basis, having a goal is the first step, and then breaking that goal into smaller chunks, into more manageable goals is what is going to actually make you achieve that success. Now, once you're settled on how much you need to make on a daily basis, your next step will then be to determine how many products or services do I need to sell on a daily basis to enable me achieve my goal. Right? So you're going to take a look at your product pool or your service pool. What are the products that I have? If it's one product, how many units do I need to sell? If it's multiple products, how many of those do I need to sell? Now, coming back to my own business, we have products that range anywhere from 35,000 to about 95,000. And so it was easy for us to be able to look at the pool of services that we offer to be able to say, okay, you know what? How many units do we need to sell? It's also very important that during this stage, you're looking at your bestseller, right? Based on what you're selling, what sells the most? Because if you have a bestseller from your line of product, then this is the time for you to then focus your energy on that bestseller. Because if something already sells, guess what? It's much easier for you to sell it. So you can then double down your energy to be able to push that product. Now, if you have only one product, then you have to push that one product because that's the only thing you have. And then the more you push that, based on your target for that day, it then makes you know how much work you've got to do on that day or even prior to that day to lead you to that sales that you're hoping to make on that day. Now, like I said earlier, not every day is going to be equal. Some days you're going to meet your target. Other days you're going to surpass your target. And other days you may not even meet your target. But when you have this mindset, it sets you up for success because you're going into your day knowing fully well what you've got to do. And you're not the only one going into your day knowing what has to be done. Your team is also going into their day knowing what they have to do. And that's why I said in module 1 that it's important that you're sharing your vision and your goal with your team so that they know what you're up against. They know what you're chasing and they're chasing that same thing with you. Now, once you're settled on the number of units that you have to sell on a day-to-day basis, it's very important that you structure your offer in such a way that it's easier for you to make a sale. Now, one of the things that we did, I think like month 2 or thereabout, that was a game changer was the fact that we decided to make our product into several packages that was enticing to our target audience. So you have to figure out, like, based on what I'm selling, how can I make my product an offer? How can I make my customers a deal? For example, we introduced things like combo package where our clients could choose 2 or more of our products for a deal. And that made us have more sales. Because guess what? We were no longer focused on selling just one product. Now with our combo package, we're able to sell 2. And even though it was a deal for that customer, we were still making money and it was as good as us selling almost two products, about 1.5. And on a good day, that customer will have gone for just one product. But introducing something like a combo offer actually made us sell more per day, and which actually helped us achieve our goal on a day-by-day basis. So take a look at your product and whatever it is that you're selling, and start to think about creative ways that you could make it into an offer. Sometimes it might be the fact that maybe there's a complimentary service that I can add to my goal that might not necessarily cost me more money, but it's going to be more valuable to my customer. And then that increases the chances of my customer not only choosing me, but actually buying from me. So it's important that we get very creative with what we're selling. We're not the only ones selling this thing, right? There is competition. Now you have to start thinking about ways to get very creative and ways to actually craft your product into an offering that is irresistible for your clients. So one of the things that I know that many people always think about is discounts, right? People always want to just throw out discounts there thinking that you're going to get more customers. Now, while discounts is not a bad thing, having to have discounts all of the time might be cutting into your bottom line. So I don't want you to always think about discounts as the first deal, because sometimes you cannot play so low, right? And I'll give you an example of some of the stores that we have here in the United States. So we have stores like Walmart where you buy your groceries. We have other stores like Target. There's a much higher end store, right? Now you can't really compete with Walmart. Walmart has the money. They have the network. They have everything that they need to sell whatever product it is that they have on their shelf for the cheapest possible price, and you can't beat it. And so I've noticed that other stores within that same industry, they are not trying to compete with pricing. They are trying to compete in other areas. And that's how we have to look at things, because you might not be the best person to be able to give a discount. You might be cutting deep into your profit line, into your profit margin, that if you cut so deep, you might not survive. So I don't want you to always think about, when it comes to an offer, oh, let me give them a discount. Let me give them 5%. Let me give them 10%. Now, that is not a bad thing to do, but that's never my first thing to do, because I never want to throw away money just for the sake of throwing away money. And I've noticed that when I think that I have a way out, I always find a way out. So I want you to think that same way. There's so many creative ways that you can craft offers to your customers without necessarily touching your bottom line, without necessarily touching your profit. So don't always think about discount as the only solution to creating an offer for your clients. For my business, for you to earn a discount, you have to have bought 4 different types of products. So we just don't give away discounts just for the sake of giving away discount. You can't even get a discount if you're patronizing us for the first time, or if you're buying from us for the first time. So we're not so big on discount. There are different ways that we are able to showcase our offering and our value to our customers. The discounting our product is not one of such, because first of all, our products are not extremely expensive. If it's expensive for you, then maybe that's not the right product for you, but it's not expensive for the person who actually needs our product and our service. And that's how I want you guys to see your product and your service. So get creative and don't just think, oh, I'm going to offer 5%. I'm going to offer 10%. You cannot sustain that. So don't start with something that is not sustainable for your business. Okay? But get creative. Also, when it comes to strategies for achieving your goal of making 10 million in a month, you have to get very creative to understanding who your true customers are. Not everybody that buys from you is necessarily your customers, right? So you have to actually take out that time to understand your customers. And how do you do that? You build a customer profile for your business. Who is my customer? Is my customer male or female? What is the age bracket of my customer? Right? How do they think? How do they feel? What are their pain points? What do they like? What don't they like? You have to create that persona for your target audience, so that it's easier for you to speak their language. It's easier for you to attract yourself and your business to them. It's very important. For example, this masterclass is for small business owners that are looking to make a minimum of 10 million Naira a month. If you're already making more than that, this business class will probably not appeal to you. Now, if you make less than that, then it most likely will appeal to you. So I've taken out the time to understand who my audience is, who am I trying to speak to, who am I trying to help. Same thing applies to my business. I understand the kind of people that like my business. I understand their wants, their needs. I understand their lifestyle. What do they want to look like? What do they want to feel like? What is the perception that they want the world to have of them? And then I seize the opportunity to sell that that desire to them. And that's the same thing you've got to do. You have to spend time understanding your customers. Even if you make something, like clothing, for example, there are different types of clothing. There's official wear, there's casual wear, there is, dinner wear. There are all kinds of clothing, the red carpets, the wedding wears. Which category do you fall under? You're not going to appeal to everyone, even though, of course, your customers might, blend from one profile to the other, but you have to have one main audience that you appeal to. So that way you're able to double down on their desires. You're able to serve exactly their needs. And every time they think of doing that thing, guess what? They will think about you because you've spent that time crafting your customer, understanding your customer, and then going after that customer. It's very important so that you don't even waste your marketing campaign trying to appeal to the entire world. Meanwhile, the entire world might not even like your service or might not even be willing to pay for your product or your service. So I want you to take up the time today to define who your customer is. Okay? So there are certain questions you want to ask yourself. Who am I trying to serve? What are their needs? What are their desires? What are their pain points? What value am I offering to them? Where am I taking them to from here to here, right? And regardless of what business you're in, you should be able to answer those questions, be able to come up with who your ideal customer is. This is very important so that you don't waste all of your resources, your time and your energy marketing and selling to the wrong person, which then prevents you from achieving your goal at the end of the day. So this is a very important module because once you understand and identify your goal, you then have to start doing the work that will enable you to actually meet your goal. And this is why, this module is focused on strategy. You come up with a strategy for your business for achieving your goal. Now, the next strategy that you want to focus on that will help you achieve your goal is your marketing and sales strategy. No matter how beautiful your product or your service is, if nobody knows about it, guess what? Nobody's going to buy from you. So it's very important for you to come up with a marketing strategy, a sales strategy. How do you intend to push out your products? What are the channels you want to use? In the medium, in this time and age where social media is like the biggest thing of the day, you definitely should be pushing yourself on social media platforms. Which of the social media platforms do your customers spend their most time on? Because there are lots of social media platforms, right? You don't want to use up all your energy on everything, especially if you don't have the resources to be on everything. And that's why it's important for you to understand your customer. Because once you understand your customer, then you would know, oh, my customers are always on TikTok. My customers are always on Instagram. My customers are on Facebook. My customers are on LinkedIn. My customers are on Twitter. You will know where to expend your energy and spend time. So it's important that you understand your customer because that is important for your marketing and sales strategy. Now, one of the things I've heard small business owners say is, I never have money. No matter how beautiful your product is, if nobody knows about it, you are not going to make money. And that's why you would hear the term, it takes money to make money. You're going to have to spend this money on marketing. You cannot avoid marketing when it comes to your business. You're going to have to spend it, right? So you need to craft a marketing budget. You need to come up with a strategy. Now, paid advertisement is not the only option. While paid advertisement is definitely great, there are other ways that you can market your product and your services. You can use influencers, although influencers could also come with a charge. You could become your own influencer where you're influencing for your brand. Almost everyone today has become content creators. So it's time for you to start thinking about content creation for your business if you do not have the money to pay someone else to be able to do that for you. So you have to think about the likes of paid advertisement. How am I going to push my product to a much larger target audience? How am I going to influence for my product? Am I going to influence with myself, or am I going to work with an influencer? Also, even when it comes to influencers, there are ways you can collaborate with influencers that might not necessarily bring out money from your pocket. For example, you could do trade by barter with them. If your product and your service is very useful and you're picking your influencer from your target audience, they most likely would need your product and your service, and they might be able to do some type of trade with you where you give them that product in exchange for advertising your services or your product. So look for creative ways to get your business out there. The most important thing is that you want your business to be out there because you want people to know that you exist so that people can buy from you, and that can push you towards achieving your 10 million naira target at the end of the month. So do not overlook sales. Do not overlook marketing. Make sure that you're spending, some on paid advertisement. Make sure that you're creating content for yourself. Make sure that you consider influencer marketing. Make sure you're looking into collaborations. Who can I work with? Who can help me push my product? Who can I help push my product? Look at cross-selling and cross-marketing. These are effective strategies that will actually help push your product to that next level. For my business, I used all of them. I'm heavy on paid advertisement. I'm heavy on influencer marketing. I do not do content creation for my business because I'm not even located in the country where my business is. So it's a bit difficult for me to do, content creation for my business. So I use other people. I use influencers to push out my product and my service. And I have a budget on a monthly basis to ensure that that is done. I've done complimentary collaborations. I've done paid influencer marketing. I'm heavy on paid advertisement, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, the likes of all of that, TikTok. I'm on at least about 3 or more social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, I believe, Twitter, I believe. So about 3 or so, but we're heavily present on Instagram. So you have to look at where your customers are and then push marketing on that platform so that your customers can find you. All right. Okay. Also, another strategy that is very important for you to consider is networking and collaborations. One of the things that I learned in this business is that you don't have all the customers, right? You can't even have all of the customers. And there are complementary businesses to what you do that you can actually find your customers. And the only way you can get into that target audience is for you to collaborate with somebody in that industry, right? So for example, let's say you're a fashion designer, a complementary business to fashion will be makeup artists, right? Will be hairstylists, because when you're wearing a nice outfit, guess what? You need hair, you need makeup, right? So they kind of go together. So it's very possible that you collaborate with hairstylists, you collaborate with makeup artists, and you guys can then work together, because in that one picture or that one image or that one video, people will get to see all of those products and services, and that becomes cross-selling. So that's another important strategy that you want to focus on, because you then will be able to tap into the target audience of the makeup artist, the target audience of that hairstylist, just by you being a fashion designer. Also, even photographers, videographers, because somebody has got to take that picture. Somebody has got to take that video. And so at the end of the day, all of you can work together. You guys can refer one another, and that increases your marketing pool and actually increases your target audience. So always consider collaborations. Every month, think about, who do I want to collaborate with this week? This month, who do I want to work with this month? What are the companies and businesses that I want to reach out to this month? Make that be a part of your monthly strategy. So every month you're improving your network, every month you're improving your partnerships, and you are growing, because these are essential for you to meet your target of 10 million naira on a monthly basis. And finally, do not forget your metrics. Your metrics are very important, because at the end of the day, all of the strategies that you're putting into place, you have to be able to track them. Which one is working? Which one is not working? So the one that's not working, guess what? You don't have to invest more energy and more time into it. You can then focus on what actually works. And you can only try on so many things and track so many things for you to be able to understand what is working and what is not working. So metrics is super important. Create metrics for all of these things. For my business, we had metrics for, tracking even our happy customers, tracking angry customers. How many angry customers did we have this week? What can we do about it? What is making them angry? Is it just how we deal with them? Is it our customer service? Is it the product that we have? What's making them upset? What makes them happy? Make sure that you're tracking all of that, so that on a monthly basis, you're coming up with better strategies to address their pain points. And even if they're happy, you're coming up with even better strategies to keep them happy, because a happy customer is a paying customer. A paying customer would refer people to you. And guess what? That will help your business grow. And we're all about growth. We're all about thriving. So this is very important. And that's why this is module 2, where you come up with that strategy that will help you achieve your business goals. So what I want you to do today is for you to grab your notes and begin to think about, what is the strategy I want to have for my business? What is my marketing strategy? What is my networking strategy? How am I going to collaborate with people? What business am I looking to work with? What is my operational strategy? How am I going to ensure that I'm delivering the right product and the right service to my customers? Focus on all of these things, because these things directly impact your return on investments and they impact your bottom line. I hope that this module has been an eye-opener for you, and I do not want you to just listen and watch this video. I want you to do something about it. So go ahead and write out your strategy. What are the ways you intend to be able to make this 10 million naira in the coming month? What are the things that you want to do? And most importantly, make sure that you write down the tactics so that when the time comes, you're able to do exactly what you've planned out to do. Okay? Like I said, it's one thing for you to have a goal. You have to come up with the plan that is required for you to achieve that goal. All right? Thank you very much for spending this time, and I'll see you in module 3. See you. Bye.